Chapter 4 Fear of the Needle. If there was anything that I was afraid of as a child, it was the hospital in our town. The hospital building was the biggest structure of brick and concrete in Bula, a light pink color and surrounded by tall green deodars and gulmohar trees, with seasonal orange flowers in them. A never-ending row of bicycles and motorcycles would make a serpentine line in the shade of the trees. Every time I crossed that building, I used to feel a chill run down my spine. From the outside, everything was just so quiet and normal, but only the people who would have walked into it would know about what happened inside. I had walked into it a couple of times. I was made to do so, against my will, by my father, so I knew what went on inside. My brother and I had not been given our inoculations at birth or in the few months afterwards, as was the usual practice. Our tragedy was that by the time our parents realized the importance of those injections, we were old enough to understand that injections hurt. Therefore, we used to run away from them, but they were necessary. So Dad will cunningly never told us when he was taking us to the hospital. He would make the two of us sit on his bicycle and tell us that we were going out for a nice ride. Tingu, as usual, would occupy the front bar while I would sit on the carrier, holding on to the front seat, on which Dad would be sitting. Only when he would miss the right turn towards the Pakka market and continue to go straight, for the road led to nothing but the hospital, we would be clear of his ill intentions. And then suddenly my brother and I would start screaming on our seats, knowing what was coming our way. Daddy, ऐसे कितने जा रहे हैं? Daddy, where are we going? One of us would ask in a terrified tone, very much aware of the answer. It was quite common for our father to not provide an answer to that one. So I would tell my brother, Tingu, Daddy Sanu injection lava leke ja rahe hai. Tingu, Daddy is taking us for our injections. And then my brother would ask, but Daddy had told us that we are going for a ride. So I would tell him, Daddy ne jhoot boliya si. Daddy had lied to us. Rinku Veer, Daddy ne jhoot kyo boliya si? Why did Daddy lie? He would ask again, trying to reconfirm the unbelievable. The bicycle would keep moving. The two of us would keep talking. I always wanted to hold my brother's hand then. He too would want to see me, but the two of us used to be separated by our father. Right at the registration counter, our fear would take a mammoth shape. The clerk at the registration desk knew our father very well. He would smile and fill in half the details on his own. Our father would take 2 slips, one for each of us, and we would walk with him, holding his hands on either side, the two of us in our half pants and t-shirts, ready to be poked. As we walked up the staircase, I would realize how close we were to the terrible process. The peculiar smell of disinfectant would fill my nostrils and virtually choke me. The dark galleries of the hospital's outdoor wards would terrorize me. The sight of the green curtains, the nurses in white and the number of sick people around would make me also feel sick. The whole atmosphere in that government hospital was that of a horror story. That horror multiplied by several times the moment we would reach our ward. As usual, there would be a vampire-like nurse whose business it was to draw blood from people's fingers or arms. Besides injecting poor little kids like us, we knew her well. She was acquainted with us too. We were a challenge for her. Many times we had created a scene in front of her and the rest of the hospital, crying, screaming, and running out without our pants. Knowing our desperation to escape, Dad never forgot to lure us with items of our interest. Most of the times he would tempt us by saying that he was going to treat us to Fruity, a popular mango drink, if only we agreed to take the shots. We were madly in love with that 3 rupee drink, which came packaged in a square green Tetra pack. The front of the packet had an image of 2 ripe yellow mangoes with droplets of chilled water sliding down them. Dad knew very well how much we loved this particular drink. Insane as it might sound, our deep love for Fruity overcome our fear of the injections, and our father knew how to use that. We would willingly lie down on our stomachs on the medical bed, baring our bottoms for the injections. In our minds, we would see the shopkeeper taking the chilled packets of Fruity out of his freezer, just for us. In the meantime, the nurse would take out the needle from the boiling water over the electric heater. Our dreams would progress, and we would now be holding our coveted drink in our hands. The nurse was constantly in the process of preparing the injection, pushing in the nozzle to flush the air out of the syringe. And as we imagined piercing the tiny round foil at the upper corner of the Tetra pack with our pointed straws, the nurse would pierce our behinds with that injection. The reality of that moment for the next few seconds would break our reverie and leave us in great pain. But we knew the key for us was to keep holding on to our thoughts, to release them enough to be able to overlook reality. Soon it would all be over, yet we continued to lie there, exactly in the same posture, happily imagining sipping our fruities, smiling, 2 brothers lying half naked on their stomach, with their eyes glued to a daydream and smiles pasted on their faces. And that's when the nurse would shout, "Ud jao, ho gaya. Get up, it's done." In the next half an hour, we would make our dreams come true with a bang. Our experience of bringing Fruity would not just end there at the shop. It was a ritual for us to bring that empty Tetra Pak bag home with us. We would blow as much air as possible into it with the straw, place the inflated packet on the ground, and ask everyone around us to watch as we jumped over our packets. Bang! It would burst like a cracker. That would mark the completion of our fruity adventure. If by any chance the packet did not burst at the first go, we would not shy away from picking it up and going on and on until it finally gave way.